A 4-0 win for the Colorado Avalanche in Game 2, gentlemen, has them leading their series with the Edmonton Oilers 2-0. Our coverage here on the fourth period brought to you by Bitbuy. Go to bitbuy.ca/TFP and receive up to $50 free when you open an account. Terms and conditions apply. Pavel Francouz was elected to be the starter for the Colorado Avalanche, guys. And, he really wasn't a difference maker, but earned his second career playoff shutout, Dennis.
Yeah, that's the way to get a shutout is when the other team only has 7 high danger chances the entire game. I don't know what that was from Edmonton. I would have been firing pucks at all directions at that goaltender. Just a non-effort from this team after getting 6 in Game 1. It's just inexplicable. And then on top of that, they lose their composure. That nonsense at the end of the game from Cassian, from Kane, it didn't make any sense. Look, guys, Dave can adjust the defense, but the offense, Connor and Leon got, 5 shots tonight? Just a really, really disappointing effort. You would have thought coming off of Game 1, there would have been an opportunity for Edmonton to get a split. Now they got go home, and they're not a desperate team on Saturday night. It's going to be a 4-game sweep.
It was almost like they were shell-shocked by the amount of offense that was coming at them. They were outrushed. Colorado totally dominated in zone entries and controlled zone entries. I mean, this was just an onslaught from the Colorado Avalanche. Probably, guys, in all honesty, offensively, I know they only got 4 goals, which is only, but that's, still solid. This was probably their best offensive performance of the playoffs to date. And Edmonton just couldn't respond. Defensively, they didn't know how to combat it. This is a team that when the opposition plays low to high, they just don't really get into it. The forwards don't perform well. They can't react to it. And all of a sudden, you're in a lot of trouble when the other team can manage to score 3 goals in just over 2 minutes and still control the rest of the pace of play for the duration of the game and totally eliminate the opportunity for Edmonton to kind of get back into this. There was just no response from the Edmonton Oilers. Defensively, they couldn't try to shut them down, and offensively, they just had no answer tonight.
3 goals in 2 minutes and 4 seconds of the second period, Dennis. And, a guy who's a role player, who's in a contract year, who's having himself a hell of a playoffs. Nazem Kadri was in all 3 of them.
Yeah, he was great. And on the other side, Darnell Nurse, and we talked about it in the pregame. Boy, that contract's not looking good right now. Just a bad play on the first goal. And they scored 3 even with a timeout taken by Jay Woodcroft. And I like that timeout, and they still didn't respond. Like, to me, there's got to be a lot of soul searching in that room tonight, tomorrow, and before the game on Saturday. Because, again, if they don't play Saturday like a Game 7, it's going to be a repeat performance. Just a stunningly bad effort by Edmonton with this much at stake.
And we know they can score. They know they can score against Colorado because they proved that they could put up 6 goals against this team in Game 1. They proved that they could score 3 goals against Francouz in that Game 1 as well. By the way, early birthday present to him. He turns 33, I believe, tomorrow. So this was just a non-effort response, no action, no call to action really from the Edmonton Oilers. And then it's a touchdown. Down 2-0 quick. They call a timeout. Still weren't able to respond in Colorado. Got an early goal right after that one. So just a catastrophic display, quite frankly, for the Edmonton Oilers. And kudos to the Colorado Avalanche because there was just absolutely – there's no quit in New York. There was no quit in Denver tonight.
Well, that's the biggest thing for me. I think when you look at this game, yes, the Edmonton Oilers were bad, but they were thoroughly outplayed. And we need to give the Colorado Avalanche – I mean, Dave, you just told me that Nathan MacKinnon had, 11 shots on net this game?
11 shots. Dennis mentioned earlier, combination between Connor and Leon had 5. I mean, that just shouldn't happen. The response had to be better for the Edmonton Oilers. But, yeah, Colorado just running and gunning. And if the puck tilts a little differently, if it flickers a little differently, this might have been a 7-0 game for the Avs. And MacKinnon was just absolutely flying. You mentioned Nazem Kadri earlier. He was dominant in this game. And I don't want to point any fingers or pat anyone on the back, but I called a MacKinnon goal today, and he got one.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for this. The Colorado Avalanche up 2-0 in their series after defeating the Oilers 4-0 in Game 2. We'll be there for Game 3 on Saturday night.